Hello, you guys! Welcome back to our channel. We are super excited because we're actually here. It's week 2 and we're doing it. We're filming. Now I just have to edit to post. But I'm gonna do it. The plan is I'm gonna post this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna continue. And we're excited just because this topic, I think it's an important one, right?
I think anytime we have like a question box over on Instagram, this question is always being asked. So we're really excited to share just like what we feel about this topic and how through time it's kind of changed and evolved.
Right, and what worked for our family.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys that don't know, I'm Maria and this is my wife.
Casey, and we've been together for 13 years. So
We
this
have
is
two
like
kids.
Yes. We do have 2 kids.
And wait, I did want to share something because we literally are today's a big day for us. It's a huge day because we actually today hit 30,000 followers on Instagram. And my sister got us flowers.
Which we need to water.
And they're so beautiful. So I need to place these in water. But we're super excited just because we love the community that we've built there. And, I feel like we've built some really nice friendships.
Yeah.
Like people that we feel like we know, people that we talk to on a daily basis that we've literally never seen face to face.
Yeah.
But it's just been such an amazing ride.
Yeah.
And there's been so much growth this year. So we're super excited for that. But yeah, I think we should get started.
All right. So I screenshotted questions and we're just going to kind of go through them every week. Okay. So the question for today is, why did you choose to use a sperm bank?
How do you want to go about that?
So how do we start? Well, first things first, when we were discussing what we were going to choose, I feel like everything was put in like we were looking at all the options. We were looking into a known donor, we were looking into a sperm bank and what that would look like because we were literally lost. We didn't have a lot of anyone that we can look up to or ask questions about these things when it was so new trying to build a family being, lesbians. It was really difficult and we were very young as well. So again, not having anyone to go to just to try to figure out what was going to be the best route for us was hard, right?
Yeah. Like we literally just had that conversation with somebody on Instagram that they're getting ready to find a sperm donor and go the whole route. And I was just like, it's so nice that now there is a place where you can go and
find people,
some sort of help or some sort of information or just some sort of clarity of what that's going to look like. Because we didn't have that. We had to just go with the flow and figure it out as we went.
Yeah.
So we love that this is a real conversation now that we can have. I do want to add that when we did start talking about growing our family, we did consider known donors. We considered several people that we know, friends. We considered using each other's siblings for genetically related children and all of this. Friends that we knew from before or just people that we're oh, maybe this person would be a good option. But then we started just really thinking about the legal aspect of things and how to best protect ourselves and our family. And I think that's where we just felt there was this security blanket through a sperm bank because there's automatically no legal responsibility on the sperm
I just
donors
felt more
end.
Protected as a parent.
Right.
That this individual wasn't going to come out of nowhere and just try to be this parent to our children. So I think when we were looking at the pros and cons list and we were writing things down, I think it just made sense for us to go through a sperm bank where we had control over what happens. I think going from a known donor, now I think we're just sharing from what we felt like back in those
9 years ago.
9 years ago. I truly believe whatever works for your family is valid and it's okay. And we've heard amazing success stories with known donors where
we know several families.
Yeah, and they all agree with whatever family dynamic they want it to be, right? Some families are okay with involving donor dad or whatever you want to refer him to as, and some people are not okay with it. And back in those times me specifically, I was not okay with even knowing this person. I was I don't want it to be an open ID donor where he can come out of nowhere and think he's gonna parent my children. So I feel like I've evolved, and and also to kind of go back a little bit, Maria and I always talk about is because I was the non-bio mom. When I become a mother, I was not the biological mother. So for me, it was this insecurity from me as a parent to think that this other person can come out of nowhere and have this more this bigger connection
to your child,
to my child, that I didn't have. And so I feel like that's why I was a little for me when I spoke to Maria, but I was like, he has to be anonymous. Hell no. I was very I don't know, I was very strong.
Intense. It was a very intense situation because I also feel like, again, we were very young. Yeah. And it was like you had to make this decision and you had to select this person that was going to be 50% of what your children are.
Yeah. At the end of the day.
So it's just like...
And they're a big part of their lives, even if they're there physically or not.
Yeah.
They're still...
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And then we also, at the point... So once we, we're like, okay, we're going to do the sperm bank thing. We get to that point and we say, okay, so what are we looking for? And then it was just like, whoa.
Oh, cool. We can choose what our donor looks like, or what his medical background is, or his characteristics and his traits and all these things. It was fun. I think it was fun to look.
I think it was super fun. So we ended up doing just the membership for that full month.
So
where
by
we were
the way,
just looking at different people.
Fairfax Cryobank for our donor. Yes.
Yeah. So we literally got the membership so we can be able to just see everybody's profile, everybody's medical records, everything. And then we sort of started narrowing it down. We did want a Hispanic donor and there were no Hispanic donors at the time. Maybe there was 3. And none of which were going to work out for us. So it just...
For different reasons, yeah.
It just didn't feel like, we were going to go that route. So we said, okay, let's just scratch that, start
Forget about the race.
Let's forget about the race and let's just start narrowing it down from there.
Medical history, height, and certain things that were important to us. And then we just saw what was left over and from the donors, remember?
Right. And then we ended up narrowing it down to 2.
Yeah.
Once we got it down to those 2...
You guys don't even want to know how we chose.
We're literally how in the world are we supposed to pick from these 2 people?
It was crazy.
How? It was wild.
Yeah.
And then what we ended up doing was we put their number, because every donor has a number. We put the number in a little bag and we had Casey's aunt pick it out of a bag.
Literally, that's how we chose them.
Literally, that's
because they were 2 perfect candidates for us. We felt like they were wonderful.
We were going to be satisfied with either one.
Yeah. We just couldn't choose.
Yeah. And we were just like, Evelyn, you need to do this. Pick it out of the bag. She picked out our donor.
And that's it.
But yeah, so in regards to the donor, for us, it was just we believe at this point in our life that we made the best decision that we could make with the information that we knew.
With what we had.
Back then. In that time.
Yeah.
Right now, we probably would have just decided to go with an ID donor, which means that they can, reach out at the age of 18 and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. But also I wanted to mention that when I'm not sure where I saw this research or if I read it somewhere or if that was just my assumption at that time. But when I saw anonymous donor, I just assumed that our children will be able to reach out to him at 18 and over. But maybe
a couple of years
ago, we found out basically the donor that we chose, it meant something. We thought it meant something else. And I just assumed that anyone can contact their donor at the age of 18, regardless of what they want. So I never knew it was there was a difference between that. So, the only thing I would have changed, and we can go, I love our children. I love the family that we have created to our donor siblings, and I probably wouldn't have, it's not I would change anything.
It's not like we would change anything.
But if we can go back, I would probably go with an open donor, right?
With a donor that is open to communication at 18. Of course, this can change. Our kids are still young, and he might change his mind at some point and let the sperm bank know that he would be open to, getting a phone call or an email from the donor children.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's not that's not the case.
Yeah. And so we're also happy that our children have some sort of connection with their donor through their siblings. Right. So although they don't have, there's no contact between our kids and him, and we don't know if that's ever going to happen or not, which
They do still have each other.
They do have each other, and they have that part of them
Right.
to go back to for whatever reason.
And I think that's a big deal.
Yeah. For medical reasons, for so many different things and just having that relationship and connection with them.
And just being open and knowing that there are other humans
Other
that share genetic traits with them out there. They're not the only ones. They're not alone in this situation. So I think that's just part of...
Yeah. So I guess an overview. We chose a sperm bank.
In a nutshell, we wanted someone that was not going to ever want
to parent our children.
Or parent our children.
Yes. But now we're okay with this individual
communication.
Yes. And for more people to love our children. That's I think that's what it is. Regardless of what our children decide to do.
And I think that all comes with age for us. Like, we grew up, we matured a little.
And also feeling that that regardless of regardless of the relationship our children have with their donor, at whatever point in their lives, it doesn't take away us being their main parent. Like, regardless of what they choose to do with him, I think my biggest fear was me not being validated as a parent. Yeah, as the number one parent, for instance, for Gray, because she's my non-bio daughter. And so, like, I think that for me is, like, regardless of what Gray feels with this person, it doesn't take away from me being her mom. And I think that's the key point for me in all of that. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was good. I hope that answered the question, guys.
We will definitely try to put another question box at some point on Instagram so that we can answer, like, gather a couple of other questions. We do have 2 more questions lined up, but it depends. If there's a really good question on there, we might just have to, like... Yeah.
And also, comment down below any questions that you guys want us to cover through these sit-downs. We're really enjoying them, and we hope you are too. So, yeah, just comment down below any questions that we can maybe come to next week.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. See you next week.